Murphy has died
Media
at
and
the age of
paparazzi
32.
surrounded the home that she shared with her husband, Simon Monjack.
Ashton Kutcher taking the stand, testifying against a man accused of being a Hollywood serial killer.
Two of Ashton Kutcher's exes are dead. One was brutally murdered, the other died under circumstances that raised serious questions. And not only that, two of the men closest to him, Diddy and Danny Masterson, are currently behind bars for some of the most disturbing crimes in Hollywood history. Coincidence? What are we really looking at here? A tragic series of coincidences? Or is being connected to Ashton Kutcher more dangerous than anyone wants to admit? Today, we're diving into the unsettling history, the ignored red flags, and why the internet is starting to ask questions Hollywood never wanted asked.
I'm Raj. I'm a Bollywood producer. I had a really good 5 years where I was pretty sure that I was awesome.
Ashton Kutcher. Oh, rude little boy.
There's a lot of really creepy ties if you look at the board of Thorn.
Ashton Kutcher was indeed lying.
Those wine stains were actually blood stains, and she was actually dead inside.
You actually know your secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone the night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything.
So, for years, Ashton Kutcher was Hollywood's golden boy, the goofy, charming A-lister, the guy everyone trusted. But behind the smile and late-night interviews is a history filled with tragedy, chaos, and moments that feel connected. And as more pieces resurface, people are starting to ask whether this was all random or whether there's a pattern hiding in plain sight.
This is where Ashton has a problem. A little while later, he gets a call saying his friend Ashley has been... He says, oh my God, when did that happen? They said the night of your date. He freaks out because he was there that night.
Now, to understand why so many are questioning Ashton now, you have to go all the way back before the fame. Back then, Ashton's childhood was anything but stable. When he was just 13, his parents divorced, splitting the family apart. Ashton, his twin brother Michael, and his older sister Tausha stayed with their mother and moved to Homestead, Iowa. On the surface, it looked like a fresh start, but behind closed doors, the pressure was crushing. His twin brother Michael had been fighting serious health issues since birth. He was smaller, weaker, and constantly in and out of hospitals. Then, when the twins were just 13, everything escalated. Michael went into heart failure. Doctors told the family he had weeks to live. Let that sink in. At an age when most kids are worried about school dances and homework, Ashton was preparing to lose his twin. That kind of stress doesn't disappear.
I'm like, how do I get to be this lucky and for my brother to have be born with cerebral palsy, then have a heart transplant, then have this random blood clot, these things that are just you're like, who has to go through that? And how do I get to be this lucky?
By high school, Ashton tried to live like a normal teenager, parties, pranks, pushing limits. But one night, everything spiraled. At 18, Ashton and his cousin broke into their high school as a prank. It wasn't violent or anything like that, but it went very wrong. They tripped a silent alarm. Police showed up immediately, and suddenly, Ashton wasn't the good kid anymore. He was convicted of third-degree burglary. Ashton served 180 hours of community service plus another 3 years of probation. Now, the fallout from this incident was brutal. His then girlfriend dumped him. His college scholarships vanished. He was kicked out of the National Honor Society, choir, and school activities. Ashton later said that moment changed how people looked at him forever. Walking down the street, he felt watched, judged. But here's the part most people forget. Humiliation didn't break him. It redirected him. He finished school, studied biochemical engineering at the University of Iowa, then made a risky move to New York to model. And that's when everything changed, because fame didn't just erase Ashton's past, it buried it. And once he entered Hollywood, the stakes got higher, and the relationships he got into got darker, and that's when tragedy started following him. And this is where the story stops being about a troubled kid from Iowa and starts becoming something much more unsettling. As Ashton Kutcher's career was kicking into high gear in the early 2000s, the That 70s show star met fashion student Ashley Ellerin through mutual friends. On February 21st, 2001, the two planned on going to a Grammys after party. Ashton Kutcher knocked on his girlfriend's door around 10:45 p.m. No answer. He peered through the window and saw red stains on the carpet. The lights were on, the door was locked. He assumed she was mad at him for running late to their date, so he left. The next morning, Ashley Ellerin's roommate found her body. She'd been stabbed 47 times. Ashley and Ashton had met at a Christmas party. Even though he was dating someone else at the time, he called her the moment he became single. They'd planned a casual dinner and drinks that night, the same night as the Grammy Awards. Ashton called her that afternoon to confirm. Called again at 7:30 to say he was running late. Ashley called him back at 8:24, saying she'd just showered and was getting ready. Ashton told police he was at a friend's house watching the Grammys and lost track of time. Hours passed and there was no response from Ashley, so Ashton drove to her place. Knocked, nothing. Looked through the window and saw what he thought were red wine stains on the floor, so he left after a while. However, it turns out those weren't wine stains. They were blood. Ashley had been attacked with such violence that the coroner said some wounds were 6 inches deep across her chest, stomach, neck, and back. Now, for years, Ashton stayed silent about that night. Then, in 2019, he was called to testify in court, not as a suspect, but as a witness.
This morning, all eyes on Ashton Kutcher, the Hollywood heartthrob, now turned star witness in the so-called Hollywood Ripper trial. Kutcher, appearing on the stand Wednesday sporting a mustache and dressed in a blue suit, describes the night 18 years ago when his friend and romantic interest, Ashley Ellerin, was stabbed.
The man on trial was Michael Gargiulo, known as the Hollywood Ripper, a serial killer who'd been stalking and murdering young women across Los Angeles for over a decade. Gargiulo had been watching Ashley, waiting for her to be alone. And on the night Ashton was supposed to pick her up, Gargiulo struck. Ashton was never implicated in the crime. Gargiulo was arrested in 2008 and convicted of Ashley's murder, along with 2 other women. But here's the thing, people have always had questions on why Ashton came late. Many have argued that the lost track of time excuse felt off, but it seems as tragic as it may have been, that wasn't the last time one of Ashton's exes died, and the next one left more questions than answers. In 2003, Ashton starred in the romantic comedy Just Married opposite Brittany Murphy.
So freaking hot.
No, it's being able to do scenes with him and being with him. I mean, to be with an extraordinary actor. Stop it now. Silly goose. And Sean Levy, the director, really fabulous.
Their chemistry wasn't just on screen. The director, Sean Levy, remembered them bouncing off each other, riffing, kidding around, and laughing from the minute they met. Brittany herself called Ashton one of the kindest humans I've ever met, an extraordinary person. They started dating right after filming Wrapped in the fall of 2002. Now, their relationship didn't last. By spring 2003, it was over. 6 years later, Brittany Murphy was dead at 32. December 2009, Brittany had been sick for weeks with flu-like symptoms. She never got checked out. Then one morning, she couldn't breathe. She called out to her mom. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital. She died shortly after arrival.
In 2009, Brittany's mother found her daughter unconscious in the LA home she shared with the couple and frantically called 911.
My daughter's passed out. Please get her.
Okay.
Brittany, please come back.
The actress's death was ruled an accident due to pneumonia, anemia, and multiple drug intoxication. According to the documentary, 90 prescription bottles were found in her bedroom. There are also claims Brittany was anorexic.
The official cause for Brittany's death was pneumonia combined with severe anemia and prescription drug intoxication. But here's where the story gets disturbing. Dr. Lisa Sheinin, the deputy medical examiner who performed Brittany Murphy's autopsy, revealed something chilling in the 2021 HBO docuseries. What happened, Brittany Murphy? Brittany's hemoglobin level was 3.0. Normal is 12 to 15.5. That means her blood couldn't carry oxygen. She was essentially suffocating from the inside. If she had gotten this test a week or 2 before dying, any decent doctor would have had her in the ER, hooked up to a transfusion immediately, Dr. Sheinin said. This was a life-threatening situation. The pneumonia was severe, so severe that Brittany had likely been walking around with it for some time. If she'd gone to a hospital early enough, a simple chest x-ray would have caught it. Treatment could have saved her life, but she never went. Instead, her husband, Simon Monjack, told people she was taking herbal remedies, thinking it was was just laryngitis. The official story is that the prescription and over-the-counter meds that, combined with the anemia, may have contributed to her death. The anemia alone would have been fatal, even without the pneumonia, Dr. Shanin stated. The pneumonia was fatal, and then you're adding this to the equation. This could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Ashton posted a brief tribute on X. Today, the world lost a little piece of sunshine. My deepest condolences go out to Brittany's family, her husband, and her amazing mother, Sharon. See you on the other side, kid. Later, in an interview with Nightline, he said, "She was the person who walked in the room and was always the first person to dance. I just try to connect to that and celebrate who she was and how she was and not make sense of it. Because 6 years after Brittany Murphy died, people are still trying to, and the questions that follow her death, they don't just haunt Hollywood, they circle back to Ashton Kutcher in ways no one saw coming. Ashton knows. R.I.P. Brittany Murph Ashton has been tied to so many shady things like that. One guy from that 70s show. I think we all knew her death was suspicious, AF, even back when it happened. I hope she finally gets the justice she damn well deserves. R.I.P. Brittany."
There are rumors that they're about to reopen the investigation into Brittany Murphy's death. And the connections aren't just between her and Diddy. They're with her husband too. We all know Brittany had a relationship with Diddy because he was best friends with Ashton. And Ashton dated Brittany for a long time. So it's safe for us to assume that Brittany probably saw something.
Now let's be clear about what we know and what we don't. Ashton Kutcher has never been charged with a crime. He was a witness in Ashley Ellerin's murder, not a suspect. He dated Brittany Murphy years before her death. But here's what we also know. 2 of his exes are dead under tragic circumstances. He's been photographed at Diddy's parties. He's joked about those parties on record. He stayed silent on Brittany Murphy's death for years. And when Danny Masterson, a man he'd known since they were teens, was convicted of drugging and raping multiple women, Ashton asked the judge for leniency. The pattern isn't proof, but it's a pattern. And in Hollywood, where power protects power and silence is currency, patterns matter. Because fame doesn't just elevate people, it insulates them and rewrites their past. It buries the uncomfortable questions under PR statements, charity work, and carefully crafted apologies. Ashton Kutcher built an empire on being the lovable goofball, the prankster, the tech investor, the anti-trafficking activist, and maybe that's exactly who he is, or maybe that's just the version of himself he needs us to believe, because when you look closely, when you stop seeing the character and start seeing the man, the story gets a lot more complicated, and the questions, they don't go away just because he stopped answering them. So I'll leave you with this. Do you think Ashton Kutcher is just unlucky, or do you think there's something deeper going on that Hollywood doesn't want us to see? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want me to keep digging into the dark side of Hollywood's biggest names, hit that subscribe button, because the truth, it's never as clean as the headlines make it seem. Till next time.